a record etched not in ink, but in the gasp of a crowd. This is how the tale resumes. Moments ago, within the arena soaked in tension, Chu Feng stood at the edge of an unthinkable choice. Golden dagger poised, ready to sacrifice himself to save others. Even Eggy's desperate cries could not sway his resolve. Yet fate did not allow the blade to fall. From nowhere, like a ghost stepping out of forgotten history, Fengyang intervened, his grip halting death itself, his presence shaking the very foundation of power within the Qilin prince's mansion. As identities were revealed and loyalties exposed, what should have been Chu Feng's end turned into the beginning of a far greater storm. Now, with Lin Ran driven into fury and forbidden power surging through his veins, the clash between titans is no longer avoidable. And at the center of it all stands Chu Feng, no longer just a youth on the brink, but a name that even giants dare to claim as friend. This is Martial God Asura, Chapter 259, Chapter 260, where pride is shattered and power is answered with overwhelming force. In that moment, as the winds howled across the arena, a single decision teetered on the edge of life and death and madness. Chu Feng stood unmoving, yet the resolve in his eyes burned like a dying star about to explode. Then suddenly, Chu Feng, you idiot! Are you really going to throw your life away just to save them? Eggy's voice tore through his mind like thunder, frantic and furious. If you die, I won't survive either. Her scream echoed with desperation, shaking even the depths of his spirit. But Chu Feng only smiled. It was a quiet smile, one filled with sorrow and guilt. Eggy, don't try to deceive me, he said gently, as if speaking to someone standing right before him. I've already learned the truth. When a world spiritist dies, the contract fades, but the world spirit remains. You would simply return to your spiritual world. His voice softened further, weighed down by unspoken regret. Yet Eggy erupted like a storm. Rubbish. Absolute nonsense, she snapped. Those fools don't know anything. I've been sealed inside you all this time. If I could have gone back, I would have left long ago. Why would I remain trapped here with you? Her anger trembled with something deeper, fear. But Chu Feng no longer wavered. Enough, Eggy, he murmured. I've made my choice. There was no hesitation now. If you wish to hate me, then do so. A bitter chuckle escaped his lips. After all, I truly am a useless master. In the next instant, the golden dagger in his hand flashed. A streak of light, sharp, merciless, cut through the air as it drove downward toward his own body. No! The cry that followed seemed to rip through the heavens themselves. Voices shattered, hearts broke. Those who cared for Chu Feng screamed until their throats burned, as if their souls were being torn apart. Even those who had no ties to him could not bear the sight. Eyes shut tightly, faces turned away. This was no ordinary act. This was sacrifice, a man severing his own future to protect others. And then, bang! The golden flash halted. An aged hand, weathered yet unyielding, seized Chu Feng's wrist mid-strike. The dagger froze mere inches from its target, and with it came a voice. Calm, amused, almost mocking. Oh ho, quite ruthless, aren't you? Even to yourself. The old man chuckled softly. You're really planning to discard your manhood like that? No interest in women? No desire to leave behind descendants? Chu Feng's expression shifted instantly. Shock flickered across his face. Then joy followed. He turned his gaze. There stood an old man clad in golden armor, his presence steady as a mountain, and his smile as warm as spring sunlight. It was him. The mysterious senior he had once encountered in the Valley of Hundred Bends. Around them, the entire arena fell into stunned silence. No one had seen him arrive. No footsteps, no aura, nothing. He had appeared like a phantom. Who is that? Whispers spread like wildfire. But their shock wasn't only due to his sudden arrival. It was the armor, that golden armor, belonged to the Qilin prince's mansion. And yet, he had saved Chu Feng. Fengyang! A voice suddenly broke through the silence. It was Lin Ran. His eyes widened in disbelief. The name alone sent chills through the crowd. What? Fengyang! He's the chief of the Qi clan from the Qilin prince's mansion. Gasps erupted everywhere. Fengyang, a name that stood at the very peak of Azure province. Within the Qilin prince's mansion, two great clans reigned beneath the mansion lord, the Qi clan and the Lin clan. And among them, Fengyang stood as the head of the Qi clan. His status, second only to the mansion lord himself. Even Lin Ran, powerful as he was, held a position beneath him. And more terrifying still, Fengyang had long ago reached the ninth level of the profound realm, a true pinnacle expert, a figure that commanded fear, respect, and awe. So why? Was someone like him here? Why had he intervened? Why had he saved Chu Feng? Questions stormed through every mind present, but no answer came. Fengyang merely smiled. Then his gaze shifted toward Lin Ran, calm yet piercing. Lin Ran, he said slowly, you've grown quite bold. To ignore the mansion's rules and slaughter the innocent? Lin Ran's expression tightened. Though unwilling to yield, a trace of fear crept into his voice. Fengyang, that boy killed my foster grandson. Why shouldn't I take his life in return? Oh? Fengyang raised a brow, amusement dancing in his eyes. A foster grandson is still just a foster grandson. Is that enough to justify this kind of chaos? His tone sharpened. If that's your reasoning, then I have even more reason to interfere. He reached out, pulling Chu Feng closer with a firm grip, his posture suddenly towering with authority. Because Chu Feng is my close friend. Silence, utter silence, then an uproar exploded across the arena. Did he just say close friend? That's impossible. Shock rippled through everyone. Even Li Jiangqing and Zhu Luyun stood frozen, their minds blank. A youth like Chu Feng being called a close friend by Fengyang? It was beyond belief. And among them all, none felt more shaken than Su Hen. This was a man he had long wished to connect with, yet never could. And now, that very man stood beside Chu Feng, as an equal. Regret surged through him like a tidal wave. He could only curse his own blindness. Meanwhile, Lin Ran's face darkened. Fengyang, I will kill Chu Feng today. His voice turned cold, resolute. Don't think your position alone will stop me. With that, his aura erupted once more. Dark energy surged upward, twisting into the sky like a rising storm, but Fengyang only laughed. Oh? Feeling confident now, are we? Is it because of that little pill you swallowed? He rolled up his sleeves, revealing his arm, his grin widening. Come then, let me see just how capable you've become after using forbidden medicine. With a sudden burst of speed, he charged forward. Fengyang, you forced my hand, Lin Ran roared, transforming into a streak of black light as he lunged. In an instant, he appeared before Fengyang. His fist, wrapped in dense black gas, expanded rapidly, its destructive force enough to shatter mountains. But Fengyang did not retreat. He did not dodge. Instead, he extended a single hand. Forming it into a claw, he caught the incoming fist, effortlessly. Then, with a simple twist of his arm, whoosh, 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 Lin Ran's body spun violently through the air like a helpless sandbag. Once, twice, 10 full rotations. Before, boom, he was slammed into the ground with terrifying force. The earth cracked, rocks flew, a massive crater formed instantly. But Fengyang wasn't finished. He stepped forward, lifted his leg, and began kicking. Relentlessly. Each strike landed with brutal precision, his voice echoing with fury. Damn brat, think you're impressive after swallowing some trash pill? Kick. You want to act arrogant? Kick. You want to show off? Kick. Fine, I'll let you be as full of yourself as you want. The sound of impact echoed again and again as Lin Ran was beaten into the depths of the earth. And in that moment, everyone finally understood. This was the difference between them. The gap between heaven and earth. The ground trembled with violent echoes. Bang, bang, bang. Each strike rang out like thunder, tearing through the heavens. And at the center of it all stood a man who seemed less human and more like a storm given flesh. Fengyang. With a flick of his sleeve, he revealed his arm, veins coiled like serpents beneath the skin. And without the slightest restraint, he lashed out. His legs snapped forward, slamming into Lin Ran with brutal force, each kick accompanied by a torrent of curses that struck just as fiercely. The sight was unbearable. Those watching felt their hearts seize. Some grimaced, others froze in disbelief. Many wanted to turn away, yet none could, because what unfolded before them defied reason. Both men stood at the ninth level of the profound realm. Yet the gap between them was like heaven and earth. It wasn't merely cultivation. No, this was something deeper, something far more terrifying. Even Chu Feng, who had witnessed countless battles, could not hide his shock. His mouth parted slightly as realization dawned. This was not a difference in realm. This was a difference in power. In essence, just as he himself had once crossed realms to defeat stronger foes, like Gong Luyun, Fengyang now stood on a completely different plane from Lin Ran. Though Fengyang's strength wasn't as monstrous as Chu Feng's own defiance of the heavens, he was still overwhelmingly superior. To him, Lin Ran was nothing more than a helpless child. There was no exchange of blows, no clash of equals, only domination. Absolute. Crushing domination. Lin Ran couldn't resist. He couldn't retaliate. He couldn't even find a moment to breathe. Every movement he attempted was crushed before it could take form. And as this one-sided beating continued, the army of the Lin clan, those once proud warriors of the Qilin prince's mansion, began to tremble. Their brows furrowed, their bodies quivered, fear crept into their bones. What? What do we do now? One muttered, voice shaking. Fengyang. He's still the same monster. Even Lord Lin Ran, after consuming forbidden medicine, can't stand against him. What else can we do? Another whispered urgently. We retreat, now. This old devil vanished for years, and during that time, we oppressed the Qi clan without mercy. Now that he's returned, he won't let us off. Silently, they began to turn, one by one, hoping to slip away unnoticed. But how could an army of tens of thousands vanish without a trace? The moment the first man took a step back, a thunderous roar exploded across the arena. Stop right there! Fengyang's voice struck like lightning. Anyone who dares take another step, I'll break all three of your legs. A wave of terror surged through the ranks. Not a single person dared move. They froze where they stood, bodies trembling, legs shaking uncontrollably, because they remembered. They all remembered. The days when Fengyang still resided within the prince's mansion. Back then, the Lin clan had lived under his shadow. His name alone was enough to send chills down their spines. Even their clan leader had dreaded him. Only after his mysterious disappearance did the Qi clan falter, like a dragon without a head, allowing the Lin clan to rise and retaliate. But now, that dragon had returned and the reckoning had come. Fengyang's gaze swept over them, cold and merciless. You think you've grown bold in my absence? He sneered. Bullying my Qi clan within the mansion and even daring to torment my friend's sect outside it? His voice rose, fury blazing. Who gave you the courage for this? Then came the command, kneel. Like puppets whose strings had been cut, the entire Lin clan army dropped to their knees in unison. Their pride, their dignity, all shattered. Before Fengyang, it meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. The crowd watching from afar erupted in silent disbelief. This was the Qilin army, an elite force. And yet now, they knelt like common criminals. Even the bystanders felt as though they themselves had been granted face beyond measure. To witness such a scene, it was something they would boast about for generations. But Fengyang was far from finished. He pressed his foot down on Lin Ran's head, pinning him like a crushed insect, and pointed toward the kneeling army. What are you staring at? He barked. Slap yourselves. 100 times. A murmur spread through the ranks. See, Chief Qi, we only followed orders. We had no choice, one man cried, face filled with grievance. At once, tens of thousands nodded in desperate agreement, hoping for mercy. Fengyang's eyes narrowed. Screw your excuses. Without hesitation, he slipped off one of his shoes, and with a casual flick, he hurled it. But that shoe was no ordinary object. It flew like a lethal weapon. With a sickening impact, it smashed into the man's face. A scream echoed out. His nose twisted grotesquely. His face caved in. He collapsed instantly, unconscious, his features utterly ruined. Silence fell. Then, without another word, the entire army raised their hands. Slap, slap, slap! The sound of flesh striking flesh filled the arena. Tens of thousands of soldiers striking their own faces with full force. They did not dare hold back. They did not dare stop. Even before reaching 100 slaps, none risked slowing down. The crowd stood stunned, eyes wide, mouths agape. Moments ago, this same army had radiated killing intent. Now, they had been reduced to this. Even within Chu Feng's spiritual world, Eggy was frozen in shock. Her lips parted slightly as she muttered, This old man, he's truly strange. Back in the Valley of 100 Bends, he seemed so righteous. Who would have thought he'd be this shameless and ruthless against enemies? She paused, then added softly, Good thing he's not our enemy. He's even more terrifying than Lin Ran. Chu Feng, however, only smiled faintly. Deep within his heart, he felt nothing but gratitude. Fengyang had saved him once, and now again. Not only him, but nearly 1 million lives in this arena. If such a man stood against him, Chu Feng knew he wouldn't stand a chance. He would have been toyed with until death. Time passed. Finally, After 100 brutal slaps, the Lin clan army lowered their hands. Their faces were swollen, red, and disfigured. Clear palm marks covered their skin. They had not dared to hold back, because before Fengyang, deception meant death. At last, Fengyang turned and strode toward Chu Feng. With a hearty laugh, he slapped Chu Feng's shoulder. "Brother Chu Feng," he said boldly, "these dogs disrupted your life and death battle and nearly ruined everything. Tell me, how should they be punished? I'll take care of it for you." His tone was casual, familiar, as though he spoke not to a junior, but to an equal. Chu Feng clasped his hands respectfully, emotion stirring within him. "Senior Qi, I will never forget your kindness. One day, I will repay this debt." But before he could finish, Fengyang clicked his tongue in annoyance. "What nonsense are you spouting?" His eyes widened as he glared. "Who are you calling senior?" Then, with a grin that carried both arrogance and warmth, "Call me brother."